still not sure. Is it? Do you have to first of all balance before you burn out, or you burn out before you balance?
Or you burn out while balancing.
Or you balance your burnout. Or you burn out your balancing. Because even that image that came on air before this, it shows you're going left and right at the same time. Anyway, shifting your lifestyle from burnout to balance happens when unmanaged. Chronic stress drains your energy, leaving you physically, mentally, and emotionally exhausted. Reversing this cycle requires intentionally setting boundaries, prioritizing rest, and actively nourishing your well-being. That's what you probably find from Claude and Grok, etc., etc., etc. Whether that is it or not, and for how long it works, let's find out from Dr. Yemisi Adepoju, who is a performance coach and multi-potentialite entrepreneur and strategist. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me.
Do you think people understand how and when they set themselves up for burnout?
Yeah, it's critical.
I think people do not understand sometimes. It's not a one-size-fits-all situation because some people go into it. Some people understand that their situation demands it. Some people understand that they don't have a choice. And so it's not like, for instance, sometimes I know like I do too much, and I know that because I know how to multitask, so I tend to do X, Y, Z, and I know I'll burn out. But you need to understand how to balance it, especially when you do something you are not enjoying, like the case of many people these days.
Oh, to do what they are not enjoying?
Yes, 100%. Because we are victims of what exists. A lot of people, for instance, let me go into the workforce, are doing jobs that they don't enjoy because that is what is available to them. And due to my experience with people, I've discovered that a lot of organizations do not even understand that that is affecting their productivity overall, because people are not coming in with job satisfaction.
And what are the earliest or often overlooked, behavioral patterns that, those signs that indicate that you're actually moving from balance to burnout? People, like you rightly said about yourself, when you multitask, you do too much, you already know that you're going to burn out, so you rein it in a little bit. But there's not everybody that recognizes that. So what are the signs that you must look out for?
If you wake up in the morning and you're not happy waking up, then you know that something is wrong. You know that there's no balance with what you do. And these days, it's due to the mental stress can be caused by your finance, your health, family pressure, what have you. And it just affects you that you know that I'm doing this thing, I'm on autopilot. Everybody does work on autopilot these days. Not everybody, some. So when I feel like I'm not enjoying what I'm doing, there are things I do that I wake up, I'm passionate about it, I'm happy. You know that feeling when you are doing something and you're singing and you're excited? Earlier on, I felt the energy between you two. It shows that you enjoy what you do, right? You have a very great voice. You have like the one that complements it. Like, so the creativity comes from deep within because you are enjoying what you do. But a lot of people do not enjoy what they do. So there's no extra spice. And when you are not enjoying what you do, you burn out. If, for instance, I'm a woman, I have to go to work 9 to 5. I come back, I need to wash plates, need to take care of the kids, need to cook food, need to be a wife, need to be everything. I would burn out because I probably don't even enjoy washing plates. I may not even really enjoy my job. Right? Yeah. So all those activities just puts me in survival mode, and I'm not really even enjoying anything. And I'm burning out, and there's nobody to cry for help. Who I run to? Because everybody has their own. You know that saying, problem not the finish. Everybody has what they are going through.
Yeah.
Well, we have come to understand. I mean, there is something you said. We'll come to your book shortly. She wrote a book, by the way, Broke After Payday.
After payday.
Broke after payday.
Broke after payday.
Well, just what I said the other time, that your take home doesn't take you to the bus stop.
How about broke before payday? Oh, God, that's
no, you are
conversation.
broke before payday. Normally, you are broke before payday. So it's but when you are not broke after payday, there's a couple. But you know, perhaps we need to help people understand what burnout is. For an ordinary worker. What does burnout look like, and how do you distinguish laziness from exhaustion?
Very good question, because I have like an experience I had with an organization. So I did go to an organization for peak performance, which is something I do by the side. So I went into this organization, I spoke with all the employees, and I discovered something within them. They were not happy with their boss. They were not satisfied. And one mistake we make in Nigeria, you know, for instance, you need a job. You have a vacancy. Somebody sends a CV. You just give the person the job based on the vacancy and the fact that maybe you know somebody that knows somebody that knows somebody. And that's how you get the job. Nobody really asks somebody, are you passionate about this? And because the other person is in need, there's black tax, there's financial stress, you need to take care of yourself. Everybody says, I can do it. What makes you stand out? What makes you feel you add value? I'm the best person for this job. Give it to me and I'll prove you. But are they really the best people for the job? Right? So in going to this organization, after speaking with everybody, finding out their mental state and everything that is affecting the overall productivity of the organization, I discovered that the security guy that opens the door is actually so educated, knows more about the job than the supervisor, and is the best person for the job. So in my engagement, because I talked from the gate man to the end, like to the manager, and I spoke to the management. I said, give me a chance to make this guy on a proprietary level, the supervisor. Just give me assistant supervisor. Just give him an opportunity. If you have to put your supervisor on a study leave or a course something, just do it, because it's going to be somehow your security now, you know. So we have to work on the mindset of everybody, knowing the fact that you are used to him opening the door for you and now going to, you know. At the end of the day, to cut the long story short, the guy behaved amazingly well. The productivity, the revenue of the company increased by 20% within 2 months. How did we arrive there? Right? The guy is educated. He came in, but that was the only vacant job. So opening the gate every day, opening the door or everything, he wasn't happy. He would do it because that's the only thing he has to do. He has to feed his family and all that. But was he really unleashing his potential? And oh no. So how many people do we have that are going through that process? We know people that are educated with BSc, MSc, and drivers today because there's no job availability, or they don't have the connection to get them to where they need to be. So I feel like employers have like a task to do. When you see that you're not growing or your productivity level is low and the morale of your employees are low, you could do this and find out why. Mental health is something that is abused or ignored in Nigeria because everybody feels we are rugged and it's not a necessity.
And we're the happiest people on earth.
Yeah, and we move on quickly.
You still haven't answered my question. That's a very... I don't want to be that gate man, but, you know, of course, God knows for how many years he was on that, at that duty post. But then you still haven't answered the question about the difference between laziness and exhaustion.
Laziness for me is you can do it, but you don't just want to do it.
Okay.
You know it, you can do it, but you don't feel like doing it just because you are lazy. I don't believe there's anybody dumb. I say it all the time. I believe people don't have the motivation, self-motivation or external, either internal or external motivation to do things. It's like I tell a child, wash plates. The child knows how to wash plates. But the child will not just want to wash plates, just being lazy. And a lot of us, sometimes it's not physical laziness, it's mental laziness. Mental laziness is when you blame everybody for something that you know you have the power to do. You just want to shift blame. So when there's exhaustion means you are working, like I explained, you are a woman, you do X, Y, Z, everything, and you are just exhausted, right? You cannot just function. So that creativity that comes naturally to you would just go very low because there's exhaustion. You are mentally exhausted, you are physically exhausted, and that leads to stress. Your hormones are out of the place and all that. So the difference between laziness, exhaustion is, I can do it, but I'm tired. Laziness means, I can do it, but I don't feel like doing it. I just want to watch movies and be on my bed.
Well, Joke definitely has a question for you because she's smiling from ear to ear like...
I just wrote that down. I'm tired. But really, yeah, because you paint, I don't know, you paint a picture of maybe like a typical mom. You know, if we can go take it there, because I always say I should not talk about mommies and children, but
I didn't say so.
Because how do like moms prevent burnout, for instance? And don't say take on maybe house staff or help or whatever, because moms too nowadays, if you don't want to be a stay-at-home mom, you typically do like a 9-to-5 job as well. And we do know 9-to-5 jobs are no longer 9-to-5. There's an extension of the 8 hours to 10, 12 sometimes, depending on your deadline that you have, because companies demand that now. And if you're a serious employer, even if you do 8 hours, if you want to do your job well, you do the extra without even thoughts. But then you get home, and then there's still homework to be done. There's food to be cooked. There are children to prep for the next day of school. There's this, there's that, and you probably don't sit down even when you get home. After driving like maybe an hour, if you don't live close to the office, to get home, and then you spend another 5 to 6 hours on your feet doing one thing or the other before you go to bed. That's disaster calling, don't you think?
Recipe for disaster.
All right. So how should women navigate this? I also have dads that could also be in that position, maybe because their wives are not around, or maybe they are single dads, or what have you. I don't know the situation, but really, how do parents, essentially, depending on the roles they play, prevent that kind of burnout, hopping from work to home, and you still have a family to take care of?
So, are you talking about single parents?
I'm talking about parents who play...
If you are parents in the home, then there should be shared responsibility.
I'm talking about when you find yourself
in a situation where you have to do it, when you are alone with with the family at that time, and then you don't have both partners available. How do you prevent? That's what I'm trying to say. If it was me, if I know I have to make food like throughout the week, I would have done some preparations that would assist me. Those days, I used to cook every Sunday, which is a relaxed food day, cook for the week. You know how we women know how to make things easier for us, right? And we now train our kids to become independent in a way where they are self-sufficient, right? Yes, the beginning time, it's tedious, but yes, that's why you have the daycare, unfortunately, or the maternity leave to kick off, then you put the child in the daycare and all that. But these days, we have kids as small as from 3 years old. They're able to I've finished showering, you could, put on your... So I feel it's more of, you can balance it by just making it work for you, putting a structure to it. People feel that structures are only for organizations. You need structure for your finance, you need structure for your home. Structure means that some things can just automatically work or make it more seamless, because even if you have a structure here today now, somebody could come tomorrow and see this is how it is done and follow through because you already have your KPIs and all that. So as a mom or as a dad, you could have a structure whereby you just make it seamless. It doesn't still take the fact that you will not still be stressed and all that. That's where you now need to understand that you need rest. On the 7th day, Jesus rested, right? So you need rest.
Right.
And you need to find that time out too. Time out too works.
Yeah.
I feel like those days we used to say going to the spa for a massage is luxury. It's not luxury, it's a necessity.
I think she's the second or third person that's going to say that like going for a massage is no longer a luxury. It's something you must do.
It never was.
No, at a point in time it was.
Yeah, it was. But thank God HMOs are now like putting it on their...
It never was what's the word, luxury.
Yeah, depending on what you do.
No, the reality is,
Yeah.
I mean, I stand to be correct, but the reality is your body was designed to move.
Yeah.
So if you're a body that is designed to move is not made to move, it will asphyxiate. The same way when you have an engine that's supposed to run from time to time and it doesn't run, even if it's brand new and you just serviced it now, I assure you, if you don't use the engine, you're going to have to fix it before you can use it. So that's just the way it is. But, you know, one other thing that's a bit disturbing about that, I mean, from the structure and stuff that you're talking about is, sometimes the problem is not the structure. Sometimes the problem is the sustainability of the structure. Some things don't just remain the same for long. For instance, you have a kid, your child is staying with you today, and tomorrow, for one reason or the other, that child has to stay in boarding school. There's a gap automatically created. Okay, there's a structure for doing something from so time to so time on a daily basis, on a weekly basis. For some reason, you have to travel for like a week, right? And it's the job that you took. When you signed any other responsibility,
I can work under pressure.
And all those things.
I can work without supervision.
So you also made it, you know, clear there. Mental burnout is the number one culprit here. So how do we address that mental? Because if we can balance it out up here, I think the rest is just figuring out how to resolve it.
Like I said earlier, that's the part that is still ignored in Nigeria, because maybe because of our culture and all that.
But isn't that supposed to be a personal choice?
No, I feel that organizations should make it a thing. It has to. It's the responsibility of organizations to have a mental health, either outsourced or in-house, to take care of their employees. Because you'll be shocked at what you hear. When I go for these things, this peak performance coaching for organizations, I hear a lot of things. And you'll be shocked at the problems that people are going through. So it has to, the first time I came across this, because I used to do it for individuals only, I watched this movie, Billions, and I saw that they had an in-house person that was taking care of that thing. Didn't you see how their productivity increased? Because you have somewhere to come in and dump, and you know it is confidential.
If they didn't have that psychologist in that company, I promise you, they would have failed in the first 1 month.
Thank you.
You know the kind of pressure. These guys were dealing with billions on a regular basis. Guess what? Their take-home, I'm not sure. Well, you could take them to the train station, but I'm not sure.
It's like going to the power room every day and you don't see money and you know that you can't touch this money, right? Or this one, it's not even going to the power room. You are making the money for people. So how many organizations in Nigeria actually do that?
Okay. So this is more a call for the organization. But what I'm saying, okay, the fact that the organization doesn't provide it doesn't mean that you cannot design your lifestyle in a way that, because if they don't do it, ultimately, God forbid that anything happens to you, the position is got to be filled.
Immediately.
Right? Exactly. So how does the individual help himself? You know, someone was just, well, I don't want to call him crazy, but someone was just saying into my ears that HMO should also call back beer palace. That's so people can go and relax there. I don't know, but, you know, so what does the fellow need to do himself? And please don't listen to my colleague, you know, who need to have some kind of stability themselves for their own sake.
People should learn how to speak up. A closed mouth, they say, is a closed destiny. I think people should get over this, I am okay, when you are not okay. You say, how are you? There's an automatic, I'm fine. How are you? If you are not fine, you are not fine. Speak up, ask for help. Fortunately for us, we have social media has its disadvantages and advantages. On social media, there are a lot of people that are helping people get off this. Go to YouTube. YouTube alone is a university. You see these psychologists, coaches, just type in whatever you're going through. There's a lot of things. The power of journaling. Journal what you are going through. Think about the solution. You cannot even take up the God factor, right? There's a scripture for every problem in the Bible. So whatever, like there are so many resources that could help you, but you need to come to the awareness. If you do not think that there's a problem with you, then you cannot get help. Because I need to know that I have a problem. I am sick. I need a doctor. But a lot of people are ignorant about the fact that they actually even burnt out.
It takes me to emotional intelligence, Doc.
Yeah.
I'm the number one thing about emotional intelligence, if I remember clearly, is self-awareness. And then there is self-regulation or whatever else like that. That self-awareness, the first step, is a problem.
Yeah.
Why is it a problem? Because even agreeing that I have a problem, some people find it difficult.
Especially men.
Especially men. Me, I don't have a problem with it, you.
Men like to be men. You know, they have this ego thing and like, oh, I don't have a problem. Okay,
No, I think,
I can chest it.
I can say this for some men.
Yeah.
The reason some men don't want to speak is because they have spoken before and they have been judged. And if a man feels like, look, I'm not going to be listened to anyway.
True, though.
What's the point? And the same goes for the female gender. If I feel that talking to this particular fellow is not going to help me, if anything, it's going to make my life worse, so what's the point? So that's what I think. But, you know, generally, and you're right, generally, some people, to agree that there is a problem, to come to that self-awareness of a problem, is a problem.
Yeah.
So, and their responsibilities aren't decreasing. Still a father, still a mother, still a brother, still an uncle, still a benefactor, still a child to someone, still a worker somewhere, and self-awareness is absent. What do we do? What does that fellow do?
We keep on preaching the message. Yeah, but really, we just keep on speaking it everywhere. I know that I have a mission to like speak on this. I volunteer to like some hospitals in their psych wards to deal with suicidal people and all that. So it's, if you know you have a calling or you have a gift where you could help people, especially when it comes to their emotions, then you should take up that responsibility and just preach the gospel. Go to schools, secondary schools, catch them young. I went to a secondary school some time ago, and what I heard, even the teachers and the parents do not know the girl was raped in school and she could not speak out. And she goes home every day and the parents think everything is okay, teachers think everything is okay, and they are going through a lot. So I feel like it is our responsibility as parents to go the extra mile to speak with our children, as teachers, as adults, right? So if you I just feel everybody has a calling to...
I think you should expatiate a little further on that speaking of thing. Because I think it is a grossly underestimated activity.
Yeah.
And you need to expatiate on it a little further. Not talking creates sickness within.
Yeah.
I'm not sure many people know that.
You're swallowing it. You're keeping it bottled in. You know, one time have you ever cried and felt better? You know, for no reason, and you just feel like, why are you crying? There's just so many things bottled up. It's energy, right? You keep on piling, you stockpile. And one day it just comes gushing out. But it could come gushing out even as ailments. Somebody was diagnosed with cancer and they said, but she exercises, she eats well, she does that. But what about her mental health? I had a client one time that was going through some issues. He was always angry, full of anger. And one day I called him, he called me and he was complaining. I said, where are you? He said he was somewhere. I said, can you go to a laboratory and just run some tests? He said, this is not what I'm saying. I said, please do run some tests. He did. And so we started working. I said, don't get the results, send it to my email, which they did. 3 months later, after the whole process of the my 21 days program and all that, I said, repeat the test. I said, check the difference. And he started crying. A 54-year-old man.
So he didn't know the test results?
No, it was
you viewed it,
yeah.
and then you took him through a program based on the results that you saw?
No, based on me changing his attitude, mindset towards life.
Based on the results you saw,
yeah.
So you worked with him based on that.
Yeah.
He doesn't know anything, and then the results changed.
Yes, because, okay, let me even just make it easy. 2 people go for a test. One person has HIV, one person doesn't have HIV. They mistakenly give Mr. Kayode the HIV result. Meanwhile, it's the negative one and the positive one. And 3 months later, Mr. Kayode that was negative dies. What killed Mr. Kayode?
His fear.
He's not sick, but he died. The subconscious doesn't even know what is right or wrong. You're watching an horror movie today and you are afraid. You're watching something on the TV and people are sad, they are crying, and you're crying. Why are you crying? Why are you afraid? It's a movie.
Somebody wrote it.
Somebody wrote it. But your subconscious does not know that it is a movie. Your subconscious is reacting to what you are taking in consciously.
So then, this is essentially talking about what we intake in our lifestyles.
Yeah.
I usually have this opinion that, look, talking about people is very, very much more problematic than talking about things.
Yeah.
Am I correct?
Absolutely.
You sit down, the only thing you want to talk about is that he did this to me, he did that to me.
Yeah, it's exhausting.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
How?
Is it not exhausting?
How am I supposed to know? She's the doctor?
Well, sometimes you're just going through, you know that local saying that you're taking Panadol for another person's headache. The person is living their life. And you're here talking about what Chioma did with Davido. Is it your business? Right?
Yes, they are public figures.
I understand. Talk about the things that are public, not the things that are not public. So a lot of people waste time, and time is money. Time should be valuable to you, but we don't even understand the value of our time. Yeah. That's why we waste time, and we've all been there. Okay. But thank God for,
for wisdom.
Wisdom.
So, just 1 or 2 things, Doc. So for someone right now who is burnt out, drained, exhausted, flat out, already in the periphery of depression yes. And is already looking at the 3rd mainland bridge with one kind of eye, what does the person need to do first to come to some kind of balance? What does the person need to do this very moment?
First thing I'll do is take a deep breath. When I meet people like that, you need to breathe in and breathe out, because clinically, deep breaths are also very helpful, right? Then you also need to come to a realization that there is nothing new and you're not the only one going through that. I did an exercise one time where I told like 10 people to write their problems, and I told each person to pick a problem. You pick a problem and you read it and you realize that what you were going through is not even as much as this person. At the end of the day, everybody wanted their problem back.
Wow.
Because you think the world has come to an end because you are going through this, or you are afraid of this thing. Like I say, write your fears. What's the worst that will happen? Most of us are afraid of death because we have not lived well. People that are not afraid of death because they've lived a good life, and they know that what comes next, they have left a good legacy, right? You're afraid of I don't know what fears anybody could have. I believe in the power of writing. I believe in the power of speaking. I believe in the 5-second rule. If you are going through, if you have suicidal thoughts and everything, just even saying 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 takes your mind, your brain, like it resets your brain a little. Yeah. Right? So, and you need to know that you are not alone in the world. Sometimes what is going on is depressing. If I'm going through something and I start helping people, I have my people I'm helping and all that, I forget my problem. Completely.
That's a good escape for some people. Yeah. Just before we let you go, what made you write broke after payday?
With a question mark.
Okay. Broke after payday?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's broke after payday.
Okay.
Yeah, because working with lots of employees and being in the space where I've experienced how microfinance banks runs and how cooperative banks, societies and all that function. And I realized that a lot of employees are struggling, living from debt to debt, living from different financial struggles, and it's never enough. It's never just enough. You know how sad it is where you should be earning 700, but your take home is less than 50,000 because there's direct debit on everything. And some of these things are not necessary. Some of these things can be prevented. Right? So the fact that you do a 9 to 5 doesn't mean that you cannot save or have passive income or have, you know, or structure your salary, your take home. Because I feel like you should budget. Every naira should have an allocation. Your money could be sent on an errand. And you know, when you send money on a good errand, it comes back with multiplication. When you send it on a bad errand, it goes off. You know, that's when some people want to, like, peer pressure, social pressure. That's one of the disadvantages of social media. I have seen someone that shopped for herself, wrapped it, and did as if a partner gave her, just for social media clout.
The Lord be with them. Thank you so much for your time
Thank
this morning. I'm
you
pretty
for
sure that
having
we're going to have this another conversation like this some other time, hoping that some people would have moved to burnout to balance by the next time you come. And those who have gone from balance to burnout, you'll also be able to speak with them. Dr. Yemisi Adepoju, plenipotentialite, entrepreneur and strategist, as well as performance coach. We appreciate your time.
Thank you for having me. It was a great time speaking with you today. Thank you.
Well, one of the things that usually helps people to escape burnout is music. It's related to what we are talking about when we return.